Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good to see everybody. How's everyone doing on this fantastic morning? Hey, everybody. Good to see you all. Hope you're having a great day. I'm having a bit of I had a little bit of a frustrating morning. I actually took the YM short and got stopped and then re-entered and then got down to around here and I was moving my stop. And for some reason, I think I clicked the wrong one and ended up exiting out of my position. So I'm really annoyed with my YM action right now because this was a really good trade. I love how he stayed selling the whole time. And this was just perfect, but I ended up losing I'm basically break even on the day because of that, and I'm a little annoyed. So we'll see how that continues to be. But I'm watching NQ right now, so let's stay focused on that. I think NQ is in a perfect place for a short setup. It's got an absolutely beautiful H3 call. The lower, wider H3 play is one of my preferred plays, very, very much. So I think this is going to be the one. I really love this short setup. Look how the cam seems to be insanely responsive right now. Look how we closed on the cam, then we wicked, but closed under it. Close, can never close a candle above the cam. Boom, look at the selling off of it. Yeah, there it is. So your stop should just be above pre-market high. If this thing runs out pre-market high, then it's dead, right? Let it come back down and then lose the averages again. But this should happen right here. If it goes up to pre-market high, that oversweeps the level. We don't want that. This is perfect. If we start to sell from here, we're going to move back into selling on the buying and selling detector. We're going to be rocking and rolling, right? Why are the cams in TOS not the same as mine? So the cams in TOS are an old version of my coding that was done by a different programmer like 3 years ago. So we've had a lot of updates since then, and I don't keep the TOS ones current because there's not a good rollout method for them. So the reason why we went with TradingView is because of the program flexibility, but also that we're able to actually update. So like when we do an update, it pushes to you and it tells you there's an update. So yeah, it's a lot of work trying to maintain coded systems on multiple platforms also. Target for NQ would probably be, this is an H3 short, so we could go as low as L4 today. I think yesterday's close is a very reasonable target. After that, I would probably go for the 100 SMA right near L3. I think that would be really more of what I'm looking for as far as just a really nice I'm expecting today to be a range run, right? So I'm not expecting a ton out of this one, but I mean, it would be a nice movement to get down there. I love how responsive we're being on the sells right now. Hey, Ron, good to see you. Good to see everybody who's coming in right now. Very excited to see you all here. If you could do me a quick housekeeping favor, 94 people watching, 38 likes. So I'd like to get to a point where I don't have to say it, but I will. Right? So if you could just do me a favor when you come in, like taking your shoes off and you're coming into my house, you know what I mean? Just smash that little like button for me. Also, if you can, make sure you're subscribed and sharing. For everyone who is subscribed on YouTube, if you have noticed, I have started posting the market forecast onto YouTube. So I have never used posts on YouTube before. So I went ahead and so I'm going to be doing. So I hope you all enjoy that. So you won't need to go to like my X, you won't need to go to my IG. You're already subscribed. So for many of you who don't like social media, you're already subscribed to the YouTube. So I can just post it to you right there. Makes it nice and easy. Also, an announcement. If you're available and you're in Texas or feel like going to Texas mid-May, so May 14th through 16th, Dr. V and I will be in Dallas, Texas. We're going to be presenting at the Money Show. And I didn't either, Dalton, until recently. We're going to be posting at the Money Show or hanging out at the Money Show, and we're going to be doing a 2-hour masterclass on how to trade futures. So I'm really hoping some of y'all will come by and hang out. And hey, Baked, how you doing, buddy? So come by, we can hang out, we can talk futures, we can talk whatever. And then I'd like to maybe get like a little social together, try and get a handful of people together to hang out, maybe have some drinks, whatever, some apps, and let's have a good time. You know what I mean? So so for anyone who can be there, I look forward to seeing you there. A few days before the event, maybe I'll post out some common information so we can find a way of getting in touch with each other while you're there, and we'll have some fun. So again, good to see everybody. Thank you for coming back. Apologies again, traveling yesterday, so I was not able to have a show yesterday. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you all today. Also, keep in mind, starting next month, we will, which is in a couple of days, Dr. V is going to be back on Wednesdays. So that should be so much fun, right? So to have that going on again. So keep subscribed. We also, Dr. V is going to be working on some technical stuff for her trading, right? So she's going to be doing like some trend line stuff. She's going to be doing some, swing trading stuff. And we're going to be posting some of that out into YouTube also. So make sure you're subscribed so you get all of the good stuff. So please consider taking a moment to like the post. Yes, thank you, please. Thank you, everybody. Please, anything you can do. And I will keep bringing you awesome content. So we got a short call here on NQ, and it's looking very good. So we're short off of H3. H3 was a perfect setup. We'll see if it works. Obviously, we can't control that, right? So yeah, my stop is just above pre-market high. And actually, at this point, if it moves much lower, I'm gonna bring it in inside of H3, because there's no reason we should offer that level again. At least I don't think so. But yeah, right now my stop is literally right above the high of day. Let me show you real quick. So here's my trade here. We pushed into the level. We closed right on the level, and then we alerted. So when we pushed down, we pulled back into the level, and then we came down and wicked into the 9. I went ahead and shorted as we pulled back. So, and that gave me a nice new 1-minute low. Stop went above the high. You're talking about $400 risk on this trade, right? I'm already at 500, and I'm well more than my distance. So you're talking only risking a relatively small amount of money. If I wasn't break even on my YM trades right now, I might have went up an extra contract on this one, but it's okay. I'm expecting a really good move out of this one, and I'd like to be able to hold it. So we have a very important level that's coming up right now, which is our initial balance range, right? So we have our 1030. Someone just mentioned actually the IB test. So this is our IB high right here. So let's mark our IB high. That is our IB high. So that's our initial balance range, or our 1 hour, right? IB. So notice we went just outside of the IB as we went up and tagged the level. Look how our volume declined as we went into the level. God, this has everything. I love this trade. I tried one trade in pre-market earlier, So I went short when it looked like we were losing momentum. I ran my stop a little wider on this one, but I cut it a little bit ahead of break even when we were starting to buy, and you could just tell we kind of overclocked a little bit. I just wasn't really feeling it, and I saw a lot of rallying. So, and I really wanted to get back to H3. So this is just a perfect example of just waiting for the level. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and move to break even now. So the reason why I feel comfortable moving to break even is because we have crossed, we've broken the 50, and we've moved outside the box. So that's my rule. Actually, one of my mentees actually started using this rule, and I really liked it, so I stole it. Shout out to my mentee. That's right. I admit it. I stole your stuff. What I like is that, so now that we're outside the box, which means we've moved more than an R in my direction, I'm going to go ahead and move to break even. If this regains the 50, regains the 20 and the 9, and then comes back up here, I mean, I'm out, right? There's no reason, right, to hang on to this one if that happens. The volume here is beautiful. We've gone into some very lovely selling volume, maybe a little bit too much. So we might get a little bit of a pullback here, but as long as we never regain the IB, I'm going to be very happy on this one. Got him at the break of 11:01. Nice, nice, good work. Very good work, K. Brian. You're holding long gold from L4. Are you now? Hit those thumbs up for me, people, please. Oh, wow. Lower, wider range, right? Yeah, good job. Lower, wider range. I love the sweep into L4 too and the buy. Well done. We are buying as well, but we seem to be losing gas. And if the market rolls over here, wow, here we go. Whee! So I'll show you this is my trade right here. This is what I'm going for. So I'm going for H3 to L3, which will get us back to the 1 hour 200 SMA. I love YM. I think YM's great. It's my favorite setup of the day. So it just overshot. And like I said, I tried it and then I ended up messing up my stop. So I basically broke even on this trade. I took a loss on my first one and then I tried a second one, went out at break even. And then my third one, I tried tagging it and then really messed up YM. I mean, a really good play, actually. I should have just left it alone and just left my stop at the highs. I would have been just fine with that, but that's okay. It was being sloppy. So now the thing we need to pay attention to now, folks, is we need to keep an eye out on, we have 2 o'clock coming. Remember FOMC at 2. So as we're in this position, make sure if you leave this on a range and you just go off to do something for the day, keep in mind that if we're near target when FOMC comes out, we may want to just go ahead and exit. Yeah, I'm short right now. Look, you can see it on my screen. I'm short here. This is one of the cleanest. I've said, if you guys are following, anyone in here, give me a number 1 if you're following the market forecast. I am now posting it to YouTube, by the way. So that should be everybody. Since you're subscribed to this channel and you're liking it, why are there not more than 100 thumbs up? How do I have 125 people, but only 100 thumbs ups or 80 thumbs ups, right? So thank you so much for the ones. Look at you all. So so for anyone who didn't read the forecast this morning, right? You can see it. I actually post it to the YouTube now. So all you got to do is click on it and you can see it in YouTube. Good morning, traders. Today we have one of my favorite ranges for intraday trading. The lower, wider range creates often some very nice range moves. With FOMC at 2 p.m., I'd be looking to run H3 to L4 and back towards the CP. I like mini setups on the futures today. I still write it on X also. It's still going on X. You just have to click the link, but it just pops right up. Even if you don't have YouTube, it just pops it right up. Please explain if, hey, Gonzalo, what's up, Bubba? I'm short, man. I'm short NQ. Let's see if we get this one. Explain if I were to convert to TradingView, what should I expect my monthly cost to be? So Ivan, TradingView is really inexpensive. I would recommend waiting for like Good Friday, April Fool's Day, Father's Day. Wait for a holiday. And they're always running massive promos. Anyone who's using TradingView in here, would you mind putting in what your approximate monthly cost is? I have a premium subscription. And like with your data and with everything that you're using, I think most people are going to put in around $30 to $50 a month. So that's pretty amazing, right? Yeah, I have the CME data package. I also have L2 data, and I'm also using premium, right? So mine's probably running more in the 50 to 60 category, I think. But it's under $50, right? You normally don't. So you can get CME data, and that's only if you're paper trading. If you're not paper trading, then you actually don't need data. You will get the data from your broker. For the YM, I would go for ATR low. All right, everybody. So we're getting a bit of a bounce here. This is going to be really important, right? So someone asked about the EMAs that I'm using. So I use the following. Let me turn the cams off for just a second. So I use the 50, I use the 21, and the 9. These are industry standards. I learned these from a specialist on the NYSE floor. So he's so I kind of learned it from him. So basically when I'm looking at these, your 9 is your momentum indicator. Your 21 is your short-term trend. And your 50 is more or less like your directional sentiment or your directional bias, right? So as long as I'm under the 50, I have more of a bearish orientation. When I'm above the 50, I have more of a bullish orientation. Right now, technically the 100 and the 200 are more associated with that. These are all EMAs. So like we could have like, this looks like it probably bounced off the 200. Near it. So you can see here's our 200 coming in. We sold and we bought back up, but this is an Asia thing. I saw someone post in there that we're bouncing off the Asia session. That's totally normal. The Asia midline, that's totally normal, K. Brian. So that makes a lot of sense to me. So I don't really use the 200 as much because I'm not that sensitive. So, but now notice we came right back up to the, so we've crossed our 21. So we came right back to test the trend and to establish to confirm our sentiment, right? So now we've tested the downtrend and we've held that, accepted it, and we're accepting our bearish sentiment right now. We are also selling on the buying and selling detector, and our session overall is negative while our rolling has gone negative. So for the most part, this looks like a pretty convincing, it looks pretty good to me. So we'll just see how it goes. Not much else I can do about this now. I mean, I had a really I had the best entry I could possibly hope for. So there's nothing else I can do about this position now. Like I can't hope for a better entry than right there with a stop above that high. It's just beautiful. But if this squeezes up, and especially if it buys back through the IB high, right, we'll go ahead and we'll take a few $100 on this one, say thank you, and then we'll let it run into the level again. And if we recross our averages to the downside, then we'll go ahead and play again. Right. But right now, like if this goes, it should, it's kind of the if it goes rule. Right. I still use the EMA. It's the 21, but I'm still using the same calculation method. I'm still using the high, low, close 3 calculation method. I'm just using a 21, not a 20. Do you all update the unpaid cams that are accessible on TV? What do you mean, KB? All of the programs are always being updated equally. So the only difference between the unpaids and the paids is that the paids have Thor mode and they call plays. The unpaids are the same otherwise. You just have to configure the settings. I'm new to futures. Hey, welcome, T-Trader, and I'm glad to have you with us. So let's talk some futures. So by new to futures, do you really, T, know what a future is as compared to like an option or a stock or an equity? What's up, Adam? Good to see you, brother. Man, it'd be a little disappointing if this trade gets squeezed out. This is such a gorgeous entry. Okay, so you watch through those. So let me give you just a real quick brief. Yeah, I'm glad you learned so much from her videos. They're great, aren't they? So futures are contracts, just like options are contracts, but they have a different role. So first off, we don't have futures for equities, but we have options for equities. We should have single equity futures available within, I think they were going to say the end of May. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, right, for the end of May, because I think that would be pretty amazing. So because that'll really change the game quite a bit. So both stocks and futures, both futures and options trade based upon the perceived value of the underlying. So for instance, right now, when you're trading ES, NQ, RTY, YM, you're trading indexes, right? So ES is the same thing as SPY. Let me make these the same order. ES and SPY. So ES is a futures contract for SPY. NQ is the futures contract for QQQ. YM is the futures contract for Dow Jones Industrial Average. And RTY is the futures contract for IWM. Right? So whenever we're trading ES, NQ, YM, or RTY, we're just trading indexes. Now, if you're trading an option's a bit different. Options have time-based and price-based expiries. And an option generically exercises and you take possession of the underlying, right? So if you're trading Tesla options and they expire, you're either going to get cash or underlying, right? Depending on how your account's configured. So for index futures, they only cash settle and they only expire based upon time, which is every 3 months. So you really don't have a lot of the issues like decay that you have in options, right? So when you're trading options, one of the biggest issues you have is your burn time, which is basically if you're playing 0 DTE and you're holding it and it gets stagnant, like NQ right now, as it's sitting here. If you were in the option for QQQ and you're at 0 DTE, you would be burning cash right now, right? Because your option is just chopping and it's sitting in place. And the longer it sits, the closer you get to the close. The closer it gets to the close, the more premium, the premium. So it's very important for us, right, to futures kind of give you that ability to play basically a zero DTE every single day, all the time, with very little burn, almost no burn at all, right? Because they're point based. So futures, however, are just contracts. So you're basically, I'm buying and selling paper, right, with the option to buy or sell more of it later. So options are superior in many ways, right? One of the things, like Corey's saying here, the options are very, very good because options are the lowest barrier entry to profitability. If you want to make a lot of money with a very little amount of cash, options are going to be the best way to do that. I said that, now I'm going to unwind that statement. They are the easiest barrier to entry for money. They are by far the hardest barrier to entry as far as competency goes. Like, to actually learn options, understand them, learn how to read the chain, understand the Greeks, and all of these other things, it takes a long time to really understand that, especially when you start talking about like condors and spreads and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's wild, right? It's wild. So futures give you leverage similarly to options, but without all the complication, which is why I like futures so much. Hey, good afternoon. I'll answer on Bookmap. Bookmap is not hard to learn at all. Once so maybe we can do some sessions. I don't have Bookmap anymore, but we could still do some sessions and talk about the visual order book and level 2. So, because if you understand level 2, then reading the book is very easy. If you don't, then it's hard because you don't really know what you're looking at. All right, so we are trying to buy our IB high right now, which I'm not very happy about. So again, my stop is right. No point. I'm going to just put my stop right here. So, I mean, either way, I'll still make I'll cover my comms and make some money, like a couple bucks, but I don't, and then I'll let it hit the level maybe. I just don't want to be so close yet. We're at break even basically because we went outside the box. We shouldn't need to come all the way back up to the level, but we didn't like transition below the open or anything like that. So I really don't feel comfortable being too close. Like, I really want to stay in this position if I can. Right? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, because I like this setup so much, I want to try and stay in as much as I can without you know, I don't, at this point, with such a good move in my direction, I don't want to take a loss here, but I would get back in if it reoffered. Headed to the library. They open at 12. Going to read more. Oh, nice. Have fun at the library. Good stuff. Oh, look at the response to our IB. Look at that. We stuffed right off the IB high and then closed under it. So far, we can't buy the IB. That's good. That's what we're looking for. So you can see, so now we're going back and we're testing back into our averages, right? We've got the 21 here, we've got the 50 here, and the 9 here. So there's a lot of algo here. So, but if we can crack back under and close under these, that might be enough to do it, kick us back into a movement towards our lows. It really does seem like there was quite a bit of absorption. Look how we could not close the average. That was a little stronger than I would like to see right there. But so far, so good. It was still a red candle. So it's not like we wicked it and then closed higher. So structure-wise, I still like it, but we shall see. They're definitely working hard. Riot? No, look, they just bought through the IB. Let's see what happens here. A lot of volume. And then I'll go over and look at Riot. Actually, I'll put this over here. That was a lot of volume and could not, but looks like I'm going to end up going out of this one. Riot. Yep. I'll get out and see if it sets up. Riot's below its ATR low, which is quite interesting. We are heavily selling on Riot. So for me, if you're short, I would stay short. If you're looking to long, I would say not yet. All of our indicators are still reading very much to the negative, and we're still selling. And we're below ATR lows. We're below the 21. We're well below the 50. So it really doesn't look like there's any reason for this thing to turn around right now. Let's look at CL. We're putting in some serious buy volume right now on NQ, but we're not really pushing. But if the market goes in, I mean, CL, if CL reversed off of H6, you could see the market squeeze. Make sure on the adaptive ATRs, are you using the basic setting as name? Seller just hit NQ. Big seller just hit NQ. Or a lot of volume, I should say. So you're saying there's a chance. This will be really important, this candle. Like, especially if this candle closes under the IB. That's a lot of volume coming in right there. But let's see what happens. If they absorb this, this could be bad. It's a lot of volume. They should let this go to the book, but they're absorbing it. I'm still in. There's our CL alert. Let's go take a look at CL while this one bounces around. So CL is too strong right now to short. But I love this spot. So right now it's still too strong to try and short. I love that it's closing near the level, but we're buying. Look, all of our indicators are green right now, and we have lots of buying. So for me, I want to be convinced more. I want to see this close the 9 and probably even close the 20. Because you can see even here, it closed the 9 and the all the way through the 50 here and still rallied. I'm not sure, boring trader. We'll see where I'm at as far as my positions go. If I'm only up like an R or two, I'll probably just close the position. Man, I'm starting to like CL more and more. We still haven't managed to close the 9. If we close the 9, I'm going to be very interested in this one. I'm still in NQ, but only for a few more ticks, and then I'm out at break even. We're all the way at 105. Oh, Dalton, don't do this to me. Is YM just leaking? That's so frustrating. CL still seems very strong. NQ's being rude. It's not going anywhere. But it's still a really good short setup. Jeez, YM made it to L6. Good job. I'm so annoyed by it, though. I still think CL looks too powerful to short, at least right now. It can't close. So back to CL real quick. I know I'm bouncing around a bit, but I love the level interaction. It's beautiful. But look, we can't close below the 9. So this is still very, very strong. But it's weakening. But it's also, I mean, maybe I'm a little goofy here. In Q, I still think is going to sell off, right? So, and it would be unusual for crude and in Q to go in the same direction. So I don't like trading crude. I mean, it could be a sell here. I mean, looks fun. I mean, we could sell NQ and crude at the same time, but I want to see more weakness out of the crude first. NQ is still looking pretty sweet. Give me 1 second, everybody. I'm parched. I'm going to grab myself a drink real quick. All right, I'm back. Volatility on the index is modest today, considering we have FOMC and yeah, yep. Should be interesting. Let's go back over to crude. See what I mean? I really am I want to spend a lot more time this next week or so really working with everybody here on reading our averages, and so you can use them, because even if you're a cam trader, you still want to pay attention to momentum, right? We're back. We're trying to lose the IB again. Crude looks toppy here, but with the buying and how high it is and how green everything is, this is one of those ones that I think you get sucked into it. You try and short H6 and this thing just explodes. Where's all-time high on crude? I mean, it's way up there. So someone asked about AAL. Thor, I cannot praise you enough because of your CPP and BSD. I only had 3 red days this month with a profit factor of 3.3 Rs. Yes, Envo. Yes, Envo. I'm so happy to hear that. So that's the value I really hope I'm bringing you all. You know what I mean? I'm not just here, like, I'm not just here to regurgitate stuff and teach you weird things. Like, even my plays, like, I wanna teach you my system and my plays, but I also want to teach you how to read the market, like actual, like, have an idea of, like, this market is a computer driven market. If once you can learn the matrix, if you will, a little Neo moment, right? Once you can learn the matrix, you will be amazed at what can happen. All right, crude rolling over and looking very weak all of a sudden. Not all of a sudden, we were kind of topping here and we were thinking that. My NQ is still sitting at BE with a strong, with crude. If crude rolls over, NQ may squeeze. I may try a short on crude. Yeah, I'd still go for ATR low. So, Daniel, so when I'm talking about the buying and selling detector, yeah, look, see, we're still buying too much. See what I mean? The buying and selling detector, it will hook you up. I told you this thing looked like a trap in the volume. So VPA, so I'll talk a little bit about the buying and selling detector for a moment, if you'll indulge. And again, thank you everybody for hanging out with me. Thank you for the thumbs ups. It's so good having you all in here. I'm really enjoying that. So let's talk a little bit about the buying and selling detector. Okay, the buying and selling detector is what I would call VTIC, volume weighted tick. It's a new invention. It's not something you'll find anywhere else. The volume weighted tick is really like my. I spent 3.5 years, maybe 4 years, developing a very strong ability to read volume. All right, that was a big sell on crude right there. I really like that. In Q almost hit my target there, or almost hit my my break even by like a tick. I think crude looks like it's rolling over though. So crude, look at it, the buying and selling detector. Our rolling has gone negative now. So we have three different fields: user, session, and rolling. I really don't use user. A user is just your own. You can define your own time setting of when you'd like to start observing. So like you could start it at like 9:35 or something like that. I really don't use the user. I use mostly the Cetric and the session and the rolling. Right. So our session is 5.7, which is actually very low, and our rolling is negative right now. So for all the effort crude's put in to get to this high, it actually did it with just barely more uptick than downtick. So this actually looks a bit struggled to get up here. So right now the buying and selling detector on crude on NQ says we're starting to move back into buying. Right? Our rolling is actually slightly positive. So this might be a good reason to get out of this one. And we're above all of our averages, and we're overall we're positive on our rolling. So I'm going to go ahead and go out at break even here, and then we'll just hang out for a minute. And if it reoffers or I see it go back under the averages, I'll get back in. Crude still having trouble closing averages. Oh man, we still look weak. Crude still looking pretty strong, but this is very toppy looking right now on crude. Maybe both sell at the same time. It's possible. Toppy. So Toppy, it's got lots of wicks. So when I'm looking at the bottom, whenever I look at the bottom, I see low closes that are closing near the bid of that minute. But when I look to the top side, I see lots of wicks, big wicks. So it looks like we're running into something that's like blowing us down. Let's look at RTY real quick. Oh, wow. RTY looks like it could be a buy here. It's still a little negative. It didn't hit the level, but it would have alerted it if it had went a little bit lower. I'm thinking about adding a buffer to the cams to allow for a little wiggle off the line in one way or the other. We used to have this and we took it away, but I think I might put it back, which will allow us to so if it gets within a degree of it. Wow. There's the level. A lot of volume just came out. What the heck? Boom. That was a lot of volume. What an amazing amount of volume that was. All right, crude's still too powerful. I was liking crude, but I'm staying off of it now. I'm not going to get into it. It's too much. All right, so I'm leaving crude alone. I'm not interested in it anymore. It's just too difficult. It's moving too much all over the level. I'm back on NQ. I really like NQ. It's been holding this lower, wider range. It's the R3 short. This is one of my best performing plays. NQ looks like a sell now. The buy, good point, Invo, good point. We've got selling now on the buying and selling detector as well. And I love the volume. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Back to the open price. All right, this was a lot of selling, and it did over push a little bit. But there's no reason after trying to advance through the IB. Look how we bought the IB, we lost it. We tried to buy it again, and then we lost it. Right? So it would be unusual for us to now sweep this low to tag the open and then go back up. Like at this point, we should probably go back to yesterday's close. No, this isn't exhaustion. It's heavy selling, but not exhausted, just heavy. Exhaustive would be like way below. This is just heavy. But it's good volume. It seems transitionary. Yeah, I'm in NQ. I should have just left my stop in the same spot. I got out and then got back in. But I like sometimes when it comes all the way back up like that, sometimes I like getting out and just give myself an opportunity to just observe it for a minute and then make a fresh decision on whether or not I want to get in or not. There are times it's especially when it's just really not going anywhere or doing anything, it's just a little bit of a pain to do that with. So let's keep looking here and see what we can get. We should not need a retest here. Look at how much selling volume we had in there. Very nice, and it was advancing too. Very nice pushing volume. This candle was a little truncated at the open. So I'm not surprised to see a squeezing off the open, but with this is a pretty weak buy response for hitting the open price. So I'm going to look for this to drive into the open. If it drives down and smashes into the bid at the open, that should be some added confirmation that we've got the right thing going on here. So is everybody enjoying? I hope everyone's enjoying these sessions. I don't think there's many channels out there where you're likely getting this level of detail as far as price reading, concepts, information and stuff like that. So I hope you're really enjoying it. My intention here is obviously to educate you as much as possible so that you start making lots of money. And then when you make lots of money, you'll come hang out with me in Market Alchemist with Dr. V, right? If you're having trouble with performance, having trouble putting your system together, and you want some additional help, like some one-on-one, some hand-holding, you come find us, right? We have Market Alchemist. It's our community that I co-founded with Dr. V, where we specialize in helping traders of all account sizes to get to where they need to be. Dr. V just posted on her media recently, and I'd love for everyone to go find her on Instagram. You'll see her name as The Conscious Edge now. So because and so keep an eye out for Dr. V there. The post that she recently did is an inspiration. She took a beautiful trade that she held for multiple days, like 7 days, and ended up making, with only like around $250 risk, ended up making over $6,000. So it was a beautiful trade, and very, very excited for her and how well she's been doing. I mean, obviously she's my partner in crime, so I'm a little biased, right? But I mean, yeah, I mean, killing it, right? Nice, Fearless. We're so excited to have you come hang with us, buddy. We'll make sure. I know it. So for those of you who don't know, being in Alchemist is $250 a month. Now I know for a lot of folks, when it comes to chat rooms, that seems like a good price tag, right? But you have to keep in mind what you're getting. Like you're not just going to join a chat room and just disappear, right? You're going to join a chat room that has myself and Dr. V, and the two of us together are doing from 8:30 all the way through 9:30 every single day. She runs the show, then doing performance stuff, getting us, she does breathing with us, meditation, goes through higher time frame analysis. She puts her trends on. She really gets us in the right place to be mentally. And then I take the live trading. It's the first time you've ever been able to live trade with me, unless you were a member of Peak Capital back in the day. First time you've been able to live trade with me. And I live trade every single day till 10:30, 10:45. Then I cut and come to YouTube. Every single day we have a 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock session. I do 3 of those sessions. V does 2. So it's and in those sessions we're covering technical indicators. We do V on every Thursday does a Traders Anonymous, where we come in and talk about our bad trades that we've taken, and talk about, really thinking about how, which kind of uncomfortable we choose, and we talk about it. So if you're interested in finding out more about it, you can go to my Instagram, which is @ThorYoung. @ThorYoungMA is my IG, @ThorYoungMA on IG, @ThorYoung on X. My links are all there, or you can go to our website, www.marketalchemists.org. So I hope everybody had an amazing time today. Really fun seeing you all in here. Good likes. I appreciate the shares, the likes, the good stuff. You're the best. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And we'll have some more fun here learning about this day trading thing. So I appreciate you all. Much love, and I'll see you tomorrow. Keep it green, everybody.